I thought we had it all figured out. A new city, a new house, a chance to leave the past behind and build something real, something lasting. Sarah had been so enthusiastic, her eyes sparkling with the promise of our future. "A fresh start, Mark," she'd said, squeezing my hand as we stood on the porch of our new home. "Just you and me, against the world." I believed her. I wanted to believe her more than anything. The last couple of years had been tough, filled with a tension I couldn't quite name, a distance that had grown between us like an invisible wall. I'd chalked it up to stress, to work, to the monotony of life. This move, this fresh start, was supposed to be the sledgehammer that would finally tear down that wall. The first few weeks were like a dream. We explored our new neighborhood, found a favorite little coffee shop, and spent evenings on the patio just talking, reconnecting in a way we hadn't in years. I watched her smile, that brilliant, radiant smile that had first made me fall in love with her, and I felt a sense of peace settle over me. The old anxieties, the quiet suspicions that had gnawed at the edges of my mind, they all faded away. We were finally back on track. I was so sure of it. I'd started a new job, a remote position that allowed me to be home more, to be present. I thought it was what we both wanted, more time together, more shared moments. The change was subtle at first. A few extra late nights at her new office, which she said was just settling in. Phone calls she'd take in the other room, her voice dropping to a whisper. When I'd ask who it was, she'd wave it off with a casual, "Oh, just a new colleague. We're working on a big project." I tried to ignore the familiar knot tightening in my stomach. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I was projecting our old problems onto our new life. I had to trust her. This was our fresh start, remember? I couldn't let my own insecurities poison it. So I pushed the doubts down, deep down, and focused on the good things. I'd make her favorite dinner, have a movie ready to watch, anything to hold on to that feeling of a new beginning. Then came the texts. Her phone, which used to lie face up on the counter, was now always face down or tucked away in her purse. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I know I shouldn't have, but a force I couldn't control pulled me towards it. The screen lit up with a preview. "Can't stop thinking about last night," it read, followed by a heart emoji. The sender's name wasn't one I recognized. It was just a single initial. J. My heart felt like it had dropped into my feet. Last night? She had told me she was working late on a deadline. My mind raced, trying to find a plausible, innocent explanation. Maybe J was a woman? Maybe last night was about a work success? But I knew. Deep down, in that place I had been so desperately trying to ignore, I knew. The wall I thought we were tearing down hadn't disappeared. It had just been rebuilt, brick by painful brick, right here in our new home. The confrontation was quieter than I expected. There was no shouting, no throwing things, just a heavy, suffocating silence after I asked her, "Who is Jay?" The color drained from her face. The brilliant smile I loved was gone, replaced by a mask of guilt. She tried to deny it at first, the same weak excuses about work and stress, but I held her gaze, my own eyes probably reflecting the storm of betrayal and heartbreak raging inside me. Finally, she broke. The truth came out in broken whispers. Jay was a colleague from her old job. The affair hadn't ended when we left our old city. It hadn't been a symptom of our old life. It was a secret she had packed up and brought with her to our fresh start. She hadn't moved here with me to rebuild our marriage. She had moved here to be closer to him, as he had coincidentally been transferred to a branch in this very city just a month before we moved. It all clicked into place. Her enthusiasm for the move, her late nights, the whispered phone calls. It wasn't about us. It was never about us. It was all about him. The promise of a fresh start was the most elaborate lie she had ever told. She had looked me in the eye, in our new home, and promised me a future while actively living a secret life with someone else. She said she was sorry, that she didn't know how to stop, that she didn't want to hurt me. But the words were meaningless. The damage was done. The trust, the very foundation of our relationship, was not just cracked, it was pulverized. There was nothing left to salvage. Standing in that new house, surrounded by boxes we had barely finished unpacking, I felt an unbearable sense of emptiness. This place, which was supposed to be a symbol of our renewed love, was now a monument to her deception. Her smile, the one I had cherished, was no longer a source of joy, but a painful reminder of the secret it hid. A fresh start? No. It was just the same old story, with a different backdrop. The secret was the same. The betrayal was the same. And the pain. The pain was deeper than I could have ever imagined. It's a strange thing to have your heart broken in a house that was supposed to be your sanctuary. I packed a bag that night. As I walked out the door, I took one last look at Sarah. She was crying, but I couldn't find any sympathy in my heart. All I saw was a stranger. The woman I loved, the life I thought we were building. It was all an illusion. Sometimes the most beautiful promises hide the most devastating truths. The hardest lesson I had to learn is that you can build a new future on a foundation of old lies. You can change cities. You can change houses. But you can't force a fresh start when one person is still living in the past. Navigating betrayal is incredibly difficult, and it's a journey no one should have to walk alone. If you're going through something similar, remember that your feelings are valid. It's okay to feel angry, hurt, and confused. Reaching out to a trusted friend, a family member, or a professional therapist can make a world of difference. Talking about it can be the first step towards healing and finding your own, true, fresh start. You deserve honesty, respect, and a future built on truth. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. Take care of yourselves.